there, listener. Welcome to the Deep Share Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Rouse, and for the last couple of decades, I've slowly been opening my eyes to a very different world than the one I grew up hearing about. And the more conversations I have with interesting people, the more mystifying this world becomes. So without further ado, let's get deep.
We've got science to celebrate! Demons bliss now! After what, baby? Come on!
There is rebellion in the wind. It will crush.
Everything I've said is true. It's real.
Dinosaur fossils? God put those here to test our faith.
A damn lie. I saw them with my own eye.
Did IQs just drop sharply while I was away?
We did illusions, man! None of it is true!
I'm not insane.
This is mass madness, you maniacs! In God's name, you people are the real thing! We are the illusion!
My shit into my DAW.
Word. What DAW do you use anyway?
I use Studio One.
How do you like it?
I love it.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I just been using it since I was 16. So
Nice. That's fair. I got a free like demo version, I guess you could say, of Ableton 10 last year. And that thing is a monster, and I would never pay for the full version. Holy hell. But I was using the free version for quite a while. It's fun.
Fuck yeah. All my buddies use Ableton. They're like, dude, get Ableton. I'm like, Studio One does the same exact thing. And it's way cheaper.
Yeah, man. I was like, I've been teetering here and there, like, okay, maybe like once I can afford it easily, then sure. I'll drop the cash on like the whole shebang, because that it's like $1,100-$1,200 or something.
That's
for like,
insane, dude.
You know, and it's probably not unreasonable considering the tech that you're getting and the
all
advancements
of the
they've made.
plugins, dude. All the plugins.
It's insane, the list of plugins that even just come with like the bare bones system.
That's what I mean, dude.
I found this free program to do the video side of this, which is VSDC.
Okay.
And anyone listening that's looking for like a good video editor for free, VSDC is awesome. It's fantastic. And I believe like the company is like open source and shit. But through that process, I was like doing the video side with VSDC, and then I was breaking into Ableton with all the audio from Zoom. And it was just, it's such a monster of a program, even the demo. And like, it just was slogging down my computer so bad. I was like, screw that, you know, and I've been using VSDC for both now for free, no strings attached. It's so easy. Like, I just recommend anything open source and free for people to use,
dude.
you know?
Yeah, dude.
So,
I saw you were using Red Circle. I was listening to the Star Wars podcast. What's
Conspiracy in the Force.
Yeah. Shout out Conspiracy in the Force.
Yeah,
and like
shout out to Kyle.
Yes, Conspiracy Kyle, man. He was saying he used Anchor, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll use Anchor, because I didn't like do much research on the release side of things. And like, it was yesterday my first episode dropped.
Hell yeah, man.
It was like the 12th, and I was like, shit, I was reading this shit about Anchor, and I didn't like what I was reading. I was like, damn, I didn't read all of the terms of service. And I was like, I saw you were on Red Circle, and I was like, boom, Red Circle.
Yeah, and I think everybody, I went to Anchor first, and that's where everybody kind of sends you, and it's reliable, definitely. And if you can afford to like upgrade and do all that, I haven't looked into them on any other angle than that. But so I saw Red Circle, and it was free. There was no limitations on episodes or lengths of episodes or anything like that. So yeah, they've been good to me so far. Shout out to Red Circle too.
Circle.
Shameless plug, because they've just been nothing but good. And yeah, they take like tiny little bits. You know, it's good. But yeah. So anyway, everybody, I'm here with my buddy Shane. Welcome to the Deep Share, Shane. How's it going, man?
What's up? Not a whole lot. Just chilling,
you just started your new podcast?
Dude, just started it, dude. The I Knew Some, but I Didn't Know It All podcast.
Yes,
play on my last name. I don't know. My dad's been saying that like for a lot of years. He's just like, well, I knew some, but I didn't know it all. And I'm like, well, damn, that's a good podcast title, because I knew some, but I don't I don't know fucking everything, you know.
Every day we're learning new angles to the same shit we thought we knew.
Indeed.
Yeah,
Indeed.
I loved your trailer, man. You put out that little trailer teaser, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a fun conversation."
Yes, dude. I beatboxed that.
That's great. So you're a musician, and now you're a podcaster. You're kind of on the conspiracy end of things, right? What
I'd
got
say
you
so.
into that shit? What was like a good spark in your, was it in your youth? What happened, man? What got you sent down the crazy rabbit holes?
Okay, so honestly, when I was like a little kid, I kind of thought like very similar like to how I do now. And I don't know, probably when I turned about like 6 or 7 ish, like just got really indoctrinated into the church. And I just kind of went from there. And then once you get, I don't know, about 12 or so, you start just losing your imagination and all. So like the only like I never was atheist except for like a week in between of me leaving. Like I was a Catholic.
Oh,
So
okay.
that was, I went through the
Deep in.
oh yeah, I went through the can't even think of the name of
Well,
what it's called. Anyway, it's when they like
catechism or whatever.
um fuck, I'll
Communion,
think
right?
of it. No, you get communion as long as you're Catholic, basically. Like I think you're like 7, you go for your first communion. And,
Confirmation or some shit.
confirmation.
Ah, yes. Yes. Yeah, we had a version of that in Protestantism because I was raised that way loosely, nothing
Yeah.
crazy, but yeah, it was similar. Not as intense.
But anyway, that just really got me all fucked up because like I knew there's God, you know, quote unquote. But it just the whole Christianity thing was, I mean, we don't need to go down. Everybody knows how fucked it is. I mean, there's a
I
lot
don't
of
know.
parts about it too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And like I'm like, there's nothing wrong with being a Christian, but for me it just wasn't my path. And I saw this guy post the spirit science, the story of or like the history of the world or something. It was talking about all that Lemuria and Atlantis and stuff, and I was like, whoa, this shit's fucking cool. So I started like really checking that stuff out. And then obviously, like, this is back when YouTube was still good and gave you good recommendations on YouTube.
Yeah.
And like I started like watching a bunch of like trip reports and stuff like that. And then my buddy's got some salvia, and I was still learning about all this spiritual stuff, and I was starting to smoke weed. So that was opening my mind back up. And then finally got a hold of some freaking LSD, and that sent me really on the path.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's kind of like just tipped you over the edge.
Sure did.
So now LSD was your favorite, or
No.
did you end up
No.
doing some ones that you liked better?
Um
Because real quick, like it kind of depends on the person, where like some people feel like a lot of the experiences are pretty identical, but then other people have vastly different experiences, from LSD to mescaline to mushrooms. What was your take?
okay, so they're all very similar indeed, but you can definitely tell the difference between each substance. Like LSD just feels like electric and just fucking wild. There's no control. It's just crazy. Mushrooms, it's like everyone says, it's almost like they have a consciousness. They're like, they call them the teachers, or the little teachers, and they're trying to. Every time I've taken mushrooms, I've learned a fucking gigantic lesson. And
Yeah, there is no like wicked happy trip on mushrooms. I mean, maybe in the
Oh.
maybe in the beginning.
in the beginning,
know?
like the giggles and stuff,
Come on
especially if
in.
you're
It's
low
nice and
dose.
happy in here.
Yeah. But no, most of my like out of body, in body, whichever you want to call it,
Interverse.
innerverse, outerverse experience, pretty much every time on mushrooms. Just yeah.
Yeah, intense. Yeah, for
Yes.
sure. Have you ever done anything like DMT or 5-MeO?
I've done I've done two different kinds of DMT. It was both the smokable, not 5-MeO,
Hmm.
just regular DMT.
Apparently, you can smoke 5-MeO as well. I didn't know. I thought it was all orally active, but I guess they clearly
Yeah.
it's obvious that people can do that and people can figure it out.
There's
You know?
there's like the one kind that just apparently you see mostly just like white light and it's just like bliss, but not the
Oh,
kind I
that one
it's not the
sounds.
that's not the kind I smoked.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds really nice, but not like TMT most of the time.
No, man. No. Oh man, that was something.
Did you
That
go to the
just
video game land of machine elves and
I mean,
geometric love?
kind of when you first take the first hit, it's just basically you're tripping the hardest you've ever tripped before. But then they're like, hey, take another hit. And and then once you get that one in you, it's pretty much on, and then you get a little bit of that third one in you, and it's you just lay back, and then you're just in DMT realm. I don't know. I didn't experience any entities though. Everything
That
has
was my next
always
question.
been like an extension of myself. Like,
Yeah.
everything is me and I was everything. You know what I mean? But I
Yes.
also still had like
Absolutely.
a perspective of looking at everything, but I was everything too. So it's
Yeah. The
weird.
paradox.
And it also was like like an ego death, but I still had like a sense of self. Usually like for me on an ego death, it's completely like I don't know what and nothing is. I don't know nothing.
I
I don't
am
know.
the chair I'm
Like,
sitting in.
don't even know what a chair is. What's a
Yeah.
body? What are words? Like that's just gone at that point, and you're just kind of scared for a while.
Yeah,
But
that's
on
for
the
sure.
DMT, I mean, I definitely felt a huge wave of fear, but I feel like that's just something you have to get through to get
It's
to
the
the
initiation.
blissful part. Basically, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah,
See,
that is scary. That you have to go.
every
You have to
time,
go
man,
through the
every
terrifying
time,
ordeal, but then you
every
burst
time.
through.
But yeah, the DMT trip for me, just like, because most of my mushroom peaks are very, very similar to DMT.
Yeah,
And
dude.
so I mean, DMT is just like, it's just kind of like, it takes you through everything though. I feel like mushrooms, it's just like you hit the great loop and you ride part of it. But on DMT, it's like, nope, you're going around the whole thing a couple times, but
Yeah,
real fast. Oh my
suddenly the great,
God.
it's like the great loop you're talking about, that great journey of the mushroom. It's like even that becomes a little fractal, like a little parcel, and you're
Yeah.
like you're playing with that now, and you, oh
Yeah.
my god, just
Dude.
that Russian doll effect. I like to talk about that quite a bit.
Yes.
That
Yeah. I've been
fractal
noticing that.
nature,
I really like
and
that.
yeah, I wanted to hear if you had any thoughts on that kind of stuff, like because everything seems to be fractal in my psychedelic visions and stuff like that, and
For
I
sure.
always leaned into that as not just some. A lot of people say that the hallucination aspect of psychedelic experience can be more of the distraction, and I don't find that to be true. I feel like there's just meaning pouring out of all of it.
I
It's
agree with you.
okay. Okay, let's rant on it. Let's riff on
So,
this for a while.
I mean, I feel like it can be distracting at some points. I feel like it can be very distracting when it comes to the fear side of things, because I feel like it's easier to give in to the fear when you're visualizing something fearful.
Yeah.
So, if you because once you get that fear, man, you have to feel your way through it. You have to like give in, not like bitch out like, oh no, but like, you have to go with the river. You still have to avoid objects along the way, but you're going with the river now. So, and then eventually you get to the smooth part of the river and you can swim wherever you want.
Yeah, you got to go over that waterfall first sometimes.
Yes.
That's funny that you phrased it that way and used that metaphor, because yeah, one of my trips I would just repeat the merrily, 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 because that whole little nursery rhyme is like, I don't know, it became the ultimate thing during that trip. I was like, oh my God, it all makes sense now. Because it's just like the metaphor. I looked at like the Kabbalah, the tree of life looks like the tree of life that's not, it's supposedly around us. It looks like a boat.
dude, the
It's a
Merkaba.
vessel, and we're floating down the stream.
Merkaba.
Beautiful.
Um,
Some in our community would say that that's evil and that's all connected to the Satan stuff, and I find it's
okay. If we're
unfortunately,
gonna,
that's just part of our story. That's not the whole angle. That's like one little angle in a
so
much bigger picture.
I got a thing for you. So
Sure.
if you're in duality, basically, you're a Luciferian. That's the way I look at it. That doesn't mean I don't think it's a bad thing though necessarily, because we came here to experience, like, and okay, so I don't think I've shared this yet, but apparently this is a pretty rare experience. I've experienced Source on one of my mushroom trips,
In what
and
sense?
okay, I was just sitting there and like I went into like DMT realm, and I just got the word one stuck in my head, and it just kept repeating one, 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 one. And eventually I collapsed the universe into singularity, and it was nothing but pure love and bliss. Like love in every single way you can think of, like love for your parents, for your child, for your spouse, even a bit sexual, but not like in a weird incest way.
No, I totally get. Yeah, it's just like you see the integration of all those feelings together as whole,
and it's everything. It's everything all as one, and it's just love. That's all it is. And I experienced that for what felt like an eternity, and it just was the best thing ever. But then you guys were talking about this on got the notes. It was like episode
Nice.
30,
He took notes.
35.
All right.
Yeah, dude.
I'm humbled. That's awesome.
Hold on, I got him right here. Wayne Bush. You're talking to Wayne.
Shout out to Wayne. Yes.
Yeah, so once you're there for a while, dude, he talked about how you just get bored.
Yeah.
Dude, seriously.
Consciousness is alive.
It's
man.
alive. It wants to do shit. So like I got
It
so
has
like
to
it
become
was
the demiurge.
exactly. It was so I don't think it's a bad thing. I think God or singularity, not that I am God, but I'm a part of God. Everything is
Right.
God. Your
It's all
vision.
fractal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is just an illusion.
And that's not a bad. So that's the thing, the illusion thing. We get caught up in that now. And I was there for a long time where the physical world is fake. It's an illusion by whatever. But in that understanding, without proper training and a proper like community, at the time, I fell into that Luciferian idea, not Luciferianism directly. I didn't know it at the time, but I was a total hail science and everything about science and robots and the future. And fuck yeah, we're going to be able to upload and be VR, everything. It's going to be so sick.
Yeah,
Loved
same.
all of it. And there's a part of me that still absolutely loves that shit.
Oh,
It's
dude,
sad.
same,
You're not going to be, I mean,
same. I'm sitting at my sim rig right now, dude. I play racing games.
There you go. That's awesome. That's so sick. It's like right at the fingertips, right? That's as long as it's not connected to this technology can't be all evil. It's not the technology, it's how it's used with who's
Exactly.
using it
So
and all that. But
that's what another
it's
thing I wanted to point on. So like, not that, yeah, weird technically to me are all Luciferians, just
no,
because
not
that
like that.
not like that, not like that, but we're okay. Let me rephrase that.
Without knowing it.
We're all participating in the Lucifer experiment.
Well, how about this? Like, so Lucifer is in some symbolism. Of course, this symbolism goes into many other areas in different directions. But one of the biblical symbols is like that of the serpent being of the animals. And when we are kicked out of the garden, we are to live like the beasts, because we are as low as, and to me, and not just to me, to a lot of people, this is related to the lower energy of the, excuse me, the physical plane, the slowed vibrations, the
Yes.
heavier frequency, all those things. It's all connected to that lower state of being. So it's almost like we're living through that Luciferian, but you can also call it low vibratory,
Yeah.
this realm. And that's the same connection to, well, it says right in the Bible that this is Satan's world, this is Lucifer's world. It's like, yeah, metaphorically.
yes. So that's what so what I'm trying to get to is like, we don't need to give up on trying to make this a better place, because this can be a better place.
Don't lose 3D with the 5D. Don't
Yeah,
lose the physical
exactly.
with the spiritual. The Trinity is both of them together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's perfect. That's like kind of where I was going, man. No,
this shit's inspiring.
Oh yeah, no, we get excited about these kind of things. Okay, I talk over my guests all the time.
It's the best kind of conversation. So yeah, we could go in a million directions. Let's just keep this going, man. I mean, we're just shooting the shit. I mean, basically you came into my world through Mark Steves, who you made that
out. My family thinks I'm crazy. Dude.
Mark is a hero. He's been doing so much hard work, and he's just having fun, and he's connecting with everybody. He's doing a great job. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
You put a little ditty together for him, and that shit was awesome, man.
I can't believe he played it on the show. I just made it for him. I was like, hey, I made you this silly little song. He's like, boom, putting it on the show.
So awesome, dude. I love it. So, I mean, as soon as I heard that, when I reached out to you, it was like an immediate connection kind of went off with all of our, psychedelic connections and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I've been on for a while now with like, a bunch of roundtables I've been doing is just this idea of perturbed consciousness, and I'm just exploring it in as many different directions as I can, like paranormal and the alien abduction side to it, because there is a side, it's like very mental side to it, and I love exploring that shit lately, dude. And
so
go ahead.
It's so wild. Like I don't know how to like think about all that kind of shit, because it's like, I don't know. I had some, I guess you could say, paranormal experiences when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But it kind of just felt like could have just been like a really lucid dream too, But I don't know. And then you hear about all these crazy paranormal experiences, but like I haven't experienced any of that in my adult life besides just like getting freaked out in the dark when you're alone,
with your own ego, right?
Yes, exactly. And that's what all it is. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like demons aren't like necessarily bad depending on who you are and how they affect you.
Or what the interpretation is too.
Yeah, because for me, the demon is just like a problem you have, like a personal issue that like something you need to like overcome.
I like that. It's very tarot. It's very archetypal.
I just don't like, because I've never hopefully I'm not fucking jinxing myself. Knock on wood. I don't want any fucking demons up in here.
Yeah, I think it's exactly what you're saying though. It's depression is a demon.
Dude, that's my demon.
Narcissism is a demon.
Oh my god. I know some narcissists.
Yeah, me too. Well, you know, I've been exploring that idea too, with narcissism being like also a cultural phenomenon and a generational
Dude.
curse.
Yeah.
You know, if you're, it can be brutal and something that is very characteristic of like the parasites that we, you know, elect and run our world and our banks and all these institutions are narcissists. And raised by worse than narcissists, of course, in some cases.
Yeah.
Really fucked up, scary, demonic pinheads. But yeah, yeah, the rabbit hole goes deep, but narcissists and like raised by it's just like a continuous strain of horrid behavior from generation to generation. That fractal's going in a bad direction.
Dad, why'd you beat me as a kid?
The right
My dad beat me.
And that's on so many levels too. Like we just learn everything. As a parent now, it's like, man,
dude,
just like learning, seeing everything that you are come through to the next generation. You know what I mean? And
yeah, man,
in just in different ways. And it's just weird.
Dude, I mean, my son's still really young. So
how old is your kid?
He's 2. He just turned
nice.
2.
Yeah, my kid just turned 4, or he just turned 4.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'm just super excited to talk to him. Like he's just now starting to be able to like say simple sentences, but like I can't wait to like talk to him. You know what I mean?
It's amazing.
I can't wait.
The conversations you get to have, it's yeah, it feels great. Yeah,
I can't wait
I'm
to
excited
see
for you.
I can't wait to see if he's one of those kids that like remembers, you know, coming from source or something. You know, that'd be so cool.
I think, you know, the fact that people like us pay attention to intuitive feelings and things like that, and these kind of topics, maybe that influences it. But man, yeah, I see it in my kid. I see how intuitive he is. And
yeah, dude, like he does.
He has access to.
Does stuff all the time that like nobody taught him to do. Like I guess he might have seen us do it before, but like I don't know, it's hard to think of an example right now because he just learns so much new stuff all the time. But
maybe we're witnessing evolution. You know, I know a lot of people are throwing like the baby out with the bathwater with like everything science related is full of shit. It's like, wait a minute. I think evolution is a very perfect, beautiful expression of this. Because like in psychedelic experience, you see like the patterns and everything is always moving and becoming something new. It's still the same thing, yet it's new. And it's a weird thing to describe, of course, but like that's what you kind of see as like that Russian doll that, oh, this is happening to me. This is happening to everything around us. Everything is definitely, it's only time. It's like whatever's within time is moving and changing.
Time is not linear.
No, it's a
we experience it that way as humans sometimes, dude. I was on mushrooms, bro. I watched my buddy just like say a simple sentence, walk like across the room, and then rewind from the and then walk across the room and say the same sentence again. Like, dude,
I had a friend tell a story while we were both on mushrooms, and it was the most obscure, most unique, most random little nothing story about just a random little occurrence when he was like 4 or 5 years old, or 5 or maybe a little bit older. But it was my story. It was I can't even remember what it was. Whoa. I can't remember if it was good or bad. It was just insignificant, like a little thing that like pinged while he was tripping and told this story. And I swear to God, he looked at me and like winked or blinked. And it's like I was paranoid at first. I started getting all Truman Showy for a minute, like,
Dude, exactly.
Oh God,
Dude, it
everybody's in
is.
on it. It's
It
it's
is.
very weird, but it's like that's the
When you're
thing.
in that realm, it is.
That's the weirdest part. And I try to lend symbolic credence to everything that is shown there. And maybe I think it would be too simple-minded to just look at it like, oh, maybe that was just your ego saying to chill out or something. Maybe you're too egotistical. That didn't wire right. That didn't
Yeah.
register or resonate with me. That
Yeah.
philosophy didn't work. And so then I started hearing it, this story, the Truman Show idea thing from like many people. And I'm like, oh, that is fucking weird. What does that mean? Like, does that mean we are the center of each our own universes, but we're all colliding? Or, oh man.
Dude, yes. So check this out. I think this reality is like a collective dream of all the egos. You know what I mean? So check this
Fair.
out. I had a buddy pass away. I got his tag tattooed on me.
Rest in peace.
I had him visit me in a dream, and I was just wild. I was like, "Holy shit, dude! What are you doing here? Like, you're you're dead. What? How are you here? This is insane." And he just came up to me and he gave me a big hug. And I remember he's like, "Hey, man, it's okay. Everything's gonna be okay, dude. It's all a dream." And he looked at me in my eyes when he said that. He said, "It's all a dream." And
I just got chills.
dude,
I had, I'll tell a deep story. This is definitely the first time I've told this on the podcast, but it's very similar. It wasn't in
hear
a
it.
dream, but it was in real life. So
this is
two different incidents years apart. So I'm in high school, probably 2001 maybe,
okay.
and I'm a baseball player.
Yeah,
Playing varsity ball or something.
I was a
And
band kid.
there you go. And so I had the bases loaded against a rival team, and I was on deck, and I was coming up to the plate when the bases were loaded, and it was like the end of the game. And this dude, this older gentleman, just behind the cage, was just standing there watching the game. Like, I don't know if he was a parent or a friend of somebody, with no idea. He was just a bystander, probably from around the area. And
Okay.
he's like, "Hey kid, the wind's blowing out for you." I was like, "Oh, whatever. That's
All
weird."
right. All right.
And I fucking knocked that shit into the next field and home, grand slam. That was like,
Fuck
it was
yes.
awesome. It was a great moment in my little baseball career.
That's
And
awesome.
it felt great. And he was just nodding to me in a very knowing way from off in the distance beyond all my teammates. It was very weird and very ominous. Didn't see him after the game.
Wow.
Years later, I had quit sports because marijuana was more fun, questioning the government. So fell off the sport train as soon as I switched schools, and suddenly I was from the wrong school, so I wasn't going to make the team anymore. I was like, oh, that's what it's all about. Even at this level, you're crushing kids' dreams at 17. Fuck off forever. So I was done.
Great.
And so years go by. I'm just a stoner hanging out with friends outside of a bookstore. I'm looking for my lighter that I just had. Where is it? Gone. So they're walking ahead of me, way ahead of me, getting back towards the car. And this guy's standing there. He's like, "Hey, you need a light?" And I swear to God, it's the same fucking guy. And I'm like, "Do I know you?" And he's like, he gives me the lighter. I'm lighting my cigarette. And he's like, I was like, "Are you the guy from inside that my friend," because my friend had been went over to help him with his laptop or something while we were in the cafe. It was really weird.
Okay.
She came back saying like, "That guy like didn't even know how to use a computer. He was just like slamming buttons." Like, that's weird. So anyway, so later on I'm outside with him. And I'm like, "Do I know you?" And he said, so I was like, "Yeah, you're the guy from inside." And he's like, "Yeah, don't always believe everything you hear." And I was like, "Oh yeah, totally. Whoa, were you listening to our wild, crazy conversation in there or something?" And he was like, "Just saying, don't even believe everything that you think." And I'm like, "Wow, this is a really weird coincidence, man." He's like, "Nothing's a coincidence. Everything happens for a reason, Andy." And he said my name. And it didn't even register to me at first. And then I walked away. I got all the way back to my car. or my friend's car. I got in the back seat and I looked
Just gave me
behind me and
chills.
I don't know if I saw him or not. I can't remember if he was just gone or not, but I got in the car and reached in my pocket and boom, there was my lighter. No obstruction, just right there. I had just had it. And I had to
Dude.
talk to that guy. And it was the same guy, man. It was,
Wow.
I'm waiting for
dude.
number 3, weird things happen.
Happen in
sometimes.
threes, huh?
But
Dude,
yeah,
I got
it's
a
like, did I
crazy
break the matrix, man? I don't know. Yeah,
dude,
tell yours.
I got a crazy angel story.
Woo!
Okay, so my wife is epileptic. And so what I think happened is she has to take 2 doses a day of her medication. And I think she just missed 2 doses in a row. She stayed up late one night and missed her dose. And then she slept in the next morning, missed her morning dose. And so me and my buddies went out to go get some sushi. And she was supposed to come with us, but she wasn't ready yet. And it's like, okay. She's like, I'll just meet you guys at the movie theater because we're going to go to the movies. I was like, okay, that's cool, I guess. I don't really want to leave you here, but she said, go with my buddies. So I went with my buddies. And we get going to the movie theater and she just calls me crying. She's like, I don't know where I am. I'm lost. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know where you are? Like, look around you. What do you see? She's like, I don't know, like some bushes and I don't know. She's like, I don't know. I don't know where I am. I'm like, well, what's going on? What's wrong? She's like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. She kept saying, I don't know. And I'm like, well, why don't you just, pull up Google Maps and put in the address to the movie theater, And she's like, oh, okay, I'll try. She's like starting to do that. And then out of nowhere, this woman comes on the phone and is like, hi, she just wrecked her car. Everything's she's fine. She's not, she's perfectly fine. Everything's okay. Everything's gonna be okay. And she didn't say, I can't remember everything what she said, but then she gave the phone back to my wife, and my wife, like, I don't know, she was just saying some stuff, and then like 10 seconds later there was a police officer on the phone, like, hey, who's this, like, this girl here was just an accident, like her car was wrecked on the side of the road. And dude, she had a seizure while she was driving, and thank God she was only like a mile from my house, and just on this back road, and there's like a pretty gnarly ditch on either side and also like a hedgerow, but she usually goes slow down that road anyway. And right where she went off the road, because she even veered onto like the oncoming traffic lane off the road, and thank God there was nobody coming.
Jesus, yeah.
And she went up into the ditch right where the ditch was like smooth, and like she just rolled up onto the ditch, and there was nice tall grass, and I guess her foot was off the accelerator and just slowed her right down. She didn't hit her head or nothing, man. Like, she had her seatbelt on. So
Wow.
and there was no account of this woman. Like, I was talking to the police officer, I was like, hey, where's that woman? Like, is she gonna like be there for a witness or something? Like, he's like, what woman? And like, I was just talking to a woman 10 seconds ago.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, dude.
Jeez.
So I don't know. So like some kept her safe, man. And
That's
then,
unbelievable.
like a year later, 2 years later, my son's here now.
Wow, man.
So it's been
And
4 years since then.
interesting connection that they sometimes report that epileptic seizures can give incredible visions too.
Yeah, dude.
Not
She
that it's a
told
good
me,
thing, but it makes sense along with the ordeal idea, that a lot of that, not ecstatic is the wrong word, but just that general perturbed, out of body, out of your normal consciousness
yeah.
experience happens from like ordeal, pushing limits on consciousness, or
See,
what I mean?
when she usually like wakes up from the seizure, she usually can't remember like an hour or two previous to the seizure or even having the seizure. But she did
Wow.
tell me about one time when she was in high school, she was just chilling in her bedroom, just being still. I guess I don't know if she was meditating or what, but she said the whole room like turned into like a jungle. Like she was not on drugs, she wasn't smoking weed or anything, she's completely sober. And I don't know, I didn't make that connection. But maybe she was having a small seizure or something, or maybe she just was meditated, and I don't know.
Could
So
be.
it's I don't
Or
know.
maybe the veil can be thinner for those that are kind of cursed with that disease. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe.
Who knows? That's the thing. That's the beauty. That's why I'm doing that roundtable series, The Witness, is because it's like this experience is so general. It's not specific to specific psychedelics. It's not specific to
Yeah.
them in general. It's not specific to
Near death
paranormal or near
experience.
death experiences. I just had an incredible discussion on near death experience that will be coming out next month along with all the other episodes of
Okay.
The Witness. But we had some good people on talking about a lot of intense experience. It was just really good.
I'm
And it
excited
connects
for
in,
that.
man. It really does. It's this, because I had that endless time experience that, I mean, shit, I felt at one point on one of my trips, the movie, if you haven't seen it, if anyone hasn't seen it, it's a little dated, but it's called Altered States with William Hurt from the 80s. And
I haven't
it's
I've
got
been meaning
Bob
to watch that one.
Balaban in it. He's always in all the Wes Anderson movies and shit. But yeah, this movie was all about this dude looking for that original self. And he was doing
Okay.
it first through like meditation and stuff. He's like a scientist, a psychologist or whatever. And he eventually takes all these mushrooms and everything. But the visualizations, probably because of how cheesy 80s it was, just like hit me like a ton of bricks at one point. Because it showed like him turn into a statue basically and like slowly like get blown away by the wind. And like I had the experience of just like reaching out, for instance, it may not have been this exact example, but like reaching out to grab a drink and bring it back up and drink it and put it back down was like Lord of the Rings on crack. And I know that things are exaggerated on psychedelics. That's a familiar tale, but like this was like my perspective was that epic journey to do such a task. And it's like, I don't know what that necessarily was teaching in that moment, but like that lasted for thousands of years. And like just the perspective was endless. And I had completely forgotten, like this reality was like a grain of sand in the corner of my eye. And once I finally remembered, like, oh, what is that anyway? It was my life. So it's weird, man.
Life is weird.
Life is weird.
I have this other perspective that like life is the trip. When you take psychedelics or other substances, it just amplifies the experience.
Yeah, or it's like at one point it felt like like my mind was like wind up toy and it just got released again. So like I brought back to the beginning of what consciousness experienced and like let it go again and like see everything for the first time all over again.
Isn't that the crazy experience, man? That was a cool one. I was like really into Drunvalo Melchizedek and learning about sacred geometry and stuff, and just about spirit creating the flower of life around it to create the infinite reality through the flower of life. And I experienced that. It was crazy, like just in the void, and then like now there's some vibration going on, and like it just keeps going and going and going and going. And I don't know, it's just hard to describe.
It is, but I think we've been doing a pretty damn good job. I think these stories are going to make people they're going to love this. This is great because a
Hell
lot of
yeah.
people can relate to this shit.
Well, then
And
you're gonna
you just
love
gotta
my
keep talking about it.
podcast.
Hell yeah, man.
That's pretty much all we talk about.
Hey, it's been my driving force for a long time. Like someone recently asked me what was my conspiracy like breakout moment, and it was Santa Claus twice. It was the first time, and then later with realizing the psychedelic connection to Christmas and everything. I'm like,
isn't that
oh my
crazy?
god, this,
Dude,
and I realized
Terrence
like,
McKenna.
dude, I didn't know who Terrence McKenna was. I didn't know who any of the people in the community were.
Yeah.
When I had my psychedelic experience, I went in with no training, no education whatsoever, and came back going, it was like this for me. It was like I was able to get access to an internal map, and then I was set out to find pieces of it in the real world, because it's like I came back with like, I want to look into this and see if these wild thoughts that the psychedelics gave me have anything are accurate. Why do I have this floating around in there? And then I would go look at something, and then that's when I found all the like the Icelandic psychedelic stories, the fucking reindeer piss after they eat the Amanita muscaria that grows underneath the Christmas tree, all that kind of crazy stuff. I was like, I would go out and I would find pieces from what I like experienced in that place, and it's just like, what the hell, man? Like it's an inner outer Russian doll or something, man.
I don't know, everything has to do with everything because everything is everything. All is in the all, and the all is in all. Original source of love.
Yeah, I had no idea
Part of
how
a poem I wrote.
That's beautiful, man. You should definitely put it out there, man.
Well, it was lyrics for a song in my old band that I finally got to be the vocalist for, bro. I was the vocalist of a metal band. I was so hyped because I've always had to play bass or play guitar or play drums because, there's
These
all
instruments you play.
And I finally got to be the vocalist because that's like, I don't know, it's like my favorite one to do.
It's the rock star, It's,
yeah, you
it's
don't have
fun.
to worry about anything. Everybody else has to. You just have to sing and go crazy.
To be the loud, opinionated one up front.
So yeah, fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
And I lost my point. I was like,
shit.
Fuck.
You finally became the vocalist.
Oh yeah. And then, dude, I wrote these fucking badass lyrics. Like I hold them dear to my soul, dude. I wrote them about Thoth the Atlantean, bro. The song was called Grandmaster. He came up with the title of the song and everything. And
that's cool.
And dude, I wrote these fucking awesome lyrics. And dude, he kicked me out of the fucking band. He kicked me and the drummer out of the band because we lived too far away. He lived like close to DC, and I live on the eastern shore of Maryland. So it's only like 2.5 hours away, and I was doing all the driving. But I don't know, man.
Oh, I mean, I know digital, like, a lot of bands pass shit digitally back and forth and track their stuff together. And that's really not intimate. It doesn't feel right. It's not a jam space,
That's what I'm doing with my buddy in Australia, but
there you go.
It's working out.
Hell yeah, man. Keep someone in Australia on the line, please.
Yeah.
Make sure they're okay. Jeez. Well, what else you want to get into?
Dude, I don't know, man. There's
your music is kick ass, dude. I want everyone to hear it who has it,
man.
man. Seriously, dude. I can't wait to hear more of it. And by the way, share some of your lyrics with me, like on the side sometime if you want, because I would love to hear them, dude. I'm always that metalhead that always wanted to hear what people were saying, because I could never understand. I could never understand. I'll admit,
dude, you gotta look up the
can't
lyrics.
understand it.
There's some enunciated, but no, all of it is Satan worship. Did you know that?
Pure evil, right?
It's all pure evil.
Yeah.
There's no metal.
What
doesn't sell your soul to Satan?
What are some of your favorite bands to listen to these days? Like, what kind of metal are you into?
Okay, so I'm an asshole.
No.
And I don't really listen to any new bands. I listen to like the same old shit since like 2015. Like
that's probably fair, man.
Because some old Born of Osiris, bro, the Discovery.
Yeah. or before that, The Higher Place, or
Okay,
Higher
dude.
Side, or whatever it is. Yeah,
Fucking
great
bow,
album.
bow. Does that bow down on it?
I think it does.
Or
Yeah,
is-
it does.
Yeah.
That's on A Higher Place. That and A New Rain were two albums that like. So I never really cared. I never got too deep into their lyrics or anything. That they were very simplistic and everything. They served their purpose, but like
Yeah.
the music filled that gap for me. But like, there was just
Yeah.
these moments like, oh, why did they do that? That's so awesome. Just pure musicianship.
Dude, the
But
Contortionist.
again, another
Oh.
older band. Yeah.
Oh my god.
From
I
a
love
certain point and beyond.
I love all of their music now, dude.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it took me a while to get into Language, which I think was
Mhm.
that came out in 2014.
Oh God, is it that
But,
old? Really,
dude? Yeah, dude,
it
it's
is. It
it's
really
old.
is.
It's old now. But
Do they have anything since then?
Yeah,
Have
dude,
they, like-
they've had like 2 or 3 things come out. Yeah, dude, and it's
I think I
pretty
fell
good.
off.
It's dude, it's not the same. It's not the same.
Fair.
But
yeah.
But as you know, as I'm getting older, you know, I'm only 24, but you know, maturing. I can appreciate it, and I do enjoy a lot of the new stuff. But dude, that old shit, dude, his vocals inspire me so much. Those lows, oh
And
my
that was
god,
the first singer, right? Yeah, that was before the
Yeah.
original guy left. Yeah, Exoplanet and
dude, Exoplanet and
and
Intrinsic.
Intrinsic. Oh my God, those.
Dude, I had
albums.
that on vinyl, and I used to just fall asleep to it every night.
Dude, Intrinsic is one of the most beautiful albums I've ever heard. Hands down.
Oh my, it's
Listen to us geeking out. I love it. I don't get to talk to a lot of metalheads that have this specific taste because metal, I mean, people think music in general is so vast. I mean, it's becoming fractal. It's just so many subgenres to everything.
Everything.
But you don't listen to post-hardcore dub. Like what?
Fucking
what is
death.
any of this?
Core grind.
It's not deathcore, dude. It's death. Like it's a totally
It's just
different genre.
Death.
Yeah. Or like black metal. Black metal went from like black face paint and burn your parents' like business to the ground in Sweden to
Symphony.
the most artsy, symphonic, wild, amazing, incredibly
beats.
gifted ideas. And yeah, it's just like Death Heaven and stuff like that. And
Dude,
every
Winter
related
Sun.
artist.
They're more like
Winter
folk
Sun, man, oh
metal,
my God.
but
Folk metal is
oh
where
my
it's at. Dude.
god, dude. But like I don't know, they're kind of black metal-esque with the blast beats and the screaming style.
Yeah, that's true. They have a little bit of that too.
Dude,
It's just-
that guy is a fucking a
Dude
genius.
from Winter Sun.
Yeah, I mean Yari, whatever the fuck his last name is.
He's one hell of a performer. Yeah.
Oh my god, dude, singing and playing those crazy parts, and I think he just switched to vocals now for live.
Yeah,
because
looking him up and seeing him play and sing is just nuts. Anybody that does, I can't multitask with that shit.
dude. My latest interview, which probably won't be out from like a month from now,
Mhm.
but dude, they're a band called Dreamt, spelled capital DMT, and dude, their drummer is fucking insane. They used to be in this band called Existential, and
sweet.
he was the backup vocalist, but he like did it for like at least 50% of the vocals, dude. And he's just doing all these polyrhythms and shit, just singing.
Nice.
Like
That's so ridiculous.
insane, dude. It's the best
Jeez.
drummer I've ever seen.
That's so nuts. They got some stuff out there for me to check out.
Dude, yeah. So Dreamt, Precursor is their EP. They're getting ready to come out with a new album, and he said about 4 months or so.
Nice.
And then his first band, him and the drummer's first band, called Existential.
That's sick, dude.
Yeah, they're
We
from
should do a
Virginia.
project sometime, man. We should definitely get down on like some collabs. Like I could send you
Dude.
some tracks. You send me some tracks. That'd be so fun.
I'm so down.
Put together some weird, wild, tinfoil covered anomaly from outer space.
Yes. Indeed, that sounds fantastic.
Dude, this has been such a cool conversation. I'm glad we got to connect like this. And I had a feeling it was going to be a good conversation. I didn't expect it to be this in like we are aligned on these psychedelic vibrations, my friend, and I
For
think we should do
sure.
more of these for sure.
Dude, let's do it, man.
Hell yeah, dude. We should definitely get down on some like round table action soon too. So yeah,
Dude,
we'll get some
hit me
stuff
up,
going.
man.
Hell yeah, man. So please tell my listeners where they can find you and if they haven't already found you, you know.
Yeah. All right. So I got patreon.com/I Newsome Pod. I'm on Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon Music. Apple's fucking me around for some reason. It tells me to
I'm hearing
agree to their policy, but there's no agree button. And then when I close out of that, it says press continue to agree to our policy. Then I press continue and it says please agree to our policy. And
and you get stuck in an infinite loop.
it's just an infinite loop. So not on Apple.
Okay, fair enough. We'll get you on Apple. We'll figure that shit out. I've a couple other podcasts are having trouble getting on there for some reason. Maybe things are changing.
Whatever,
Dun, dun,
man.
dun.
Screw it,
Whatever.
dude. Check me out on Red Circle.
Hell yeah.
It's the whole thing. I need to figure out how to change my link, but right now it's I Knew Some But I Didn't Know It All podcast with a dash in between every single letter. So I gotta fix that. But
Cool.
yeah, Instagram.com/I Knew Some Pod or /I Knew Some, one of those.
Find him through my site. He's right there.
Boom. Yeah.
Hell
Look
yeah,
it up.
man. It's been awesome talking to you, dude. And we'll definitely connect soon, brother.
Hell yeah, man. Great talking with you.
All right, everybody, have a great night.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Deep Share Podcast. If you want to hear more, then hit that subscribe button. Follow me on all the social places. And remember, think for yourself, but don't always believe what you think. Till next time.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, that's hysteria. Enough, I get the point.
You have meddled with the primal forces of nature. And you will atone.
What do we know? What do we know? If I know what we know, then I can tell you what we know, and if someone else knows, okay? I mean,